Ready, zoomed in? Janae, you ready? Questions for Trayshawn?
Anxious for your first taste of the Mountain West tournament?
Definitely excited. Can't wait. I'm ready to go. I'm excited as everyone else on the team, so can't wait.
What do you anticipate it's going to be like down there?
A lot of energy, a lot of teams ready to play, a lot of teams that want to prove themselves. It's going to be a tough environment for everybody. I mean, it's time to show what you've been preparing for this whole time, so it's going to be tough.
Do you feel like this part of the year kind of caters to the type of team you are, to play a little more free and know that there's so much on the line and there's no schedule or no segments to look at, really?
Maybe, but I can also say the same thing about other teams who are just, teams that are a lower seed in tournament, just knowing like, oh, well, what do we have to lose? Like, let's go out there and play as hard as we can. So there's somewhat of an advantage knowing that, but those teams that are lower seeds have an advantage as well with that.
Do you prepare any differently for this being a neutral site games compared to how you prepare whether you're going to be on the road or at home?
Definitely, but I think also in the same retrospect, we've played at several neutral site games this year as well. So we've had some experience with that already early this season, and I don't think we're prepared any different than how we prepared earlier in the year with those games.
Has it finally, you think, hit all of you guys? You know, hey, we're heading to Vegas tomorrow, and this is what we've been preparing for all season long?
I think it will hit all of us more when we have practice. We haven't had practice yet, but when we have practice today, I think we'll come together more as a group and understand, like, okay, guys, it's time. And the coaching staff will do a great job with that, like I always say. And I'm sure there will be some sort of message that Muscle would have read or something in a newspaper or some sort of magazine when he was running and working out early this morning that he'll hit us with as well.
When you guys know you're in the NCAA tournament, is there a different feeling when you know that that spot is locked up as opposed to previously when you were going to conference tournaments, you had to win it to get to the big dance?
No, because we want to win this Mountain West tournament. Like last year, they came up short, and we understand like this is something that we want to check off our checklist. Like we've been looking at this all season, so we want to win this tournament. It has nothing to do about the NCAA tournament that's coming up, but that's not here yet. Like we have to look at our goals, and this is one of our goals. We have to accomplish this goal.
Why was this one of your guys' goals at the start of the year?
Winning. I guess winning's our goal. Winning's our number one goal, and to win a tournament is winning, and it's showing that to win that is just something different because you're winning. The tournament is different because it's win or go home. I mean, it's a fight. Every team is going to be fighting their hardest. It's the end of the year, so you've been through so much with everything and everybody, and you've seen the ups and downs of the whole season. And I think that's one of our goals because, one, we didn't get to do it last year, and number two is it's hard to do.
What did you learn in your years in the Summit League tournament, and can any of that carry forward, the stuff you learned?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's just mental preparation. Understanding like you have to be locked in every single play, every single scout, everything. Every time we meet as a team and we talk about something, you have to be locked in. You have to take something from every meeting because it could come down to anything. It can come down to if you know who can shoot better free throw percentage. It can come down to if you know this guy's a better offensive rebounder than a guy, and it's a time somebody shoots and there's two guys, you gotta go box out, you gotta pick one, and you might have to know who's the better offensive rebounder right there. Like it can come down to little things like that. So I think just preparation and the mentality.
And you say win or go home, and that with every possession, it's almost like you would have to have that mentality because it could be that possession that could lose you the game.
Exactly. So and I think we've had that mentality most of the year, throughout the whole season, and it just has to be amplified right now. Like we have a lot of seniors, and that's been our message the whole year. Like this is our last time doing a lot of stuff. So every time we went through a games, the last time you're going to play here. It's the last time you're going to see this crowd. It's the last time this. So this is the last time we're going to be able to play in this tournament. And for the seniors, everyone understands that.
One of your guys' strength in the regular season is preparing for the opposing team and knowing them so well. You guys aren't going to know who you're playing all of these games until like less than 24 hours before. How is that a different challenge than what you guys go through in the regular season?
It's a bigger challenge because now you got to take little hints. Like you won't get to know every single thing, but Coach Ruda, the assistant coaches, Coach Gus, Coach Brandon Dunson, they'll do a great job of just giving us little small hints and little things that we can tally up that are the bigger points. Also, we're a senior-led group mostly, and I think we've done a pretty good job of remembering stuff. So, you're gonna remember some things when you play the team as well that you already know, certain sets, certain guys, but then also with that, you got to understand that you just have to, it's going to come down to stuff that's not on the scouting report too. So
When you get in a loser-out game, do you feel more pressure? Is that evident, or are you playing basketball?
I think it's now we're just playing basketball. Like, I don't know if it's pressure. It's more of just like, this is what you've been preparing for. Like, this is what you're ready for, I guess. Maybe there's a small added pressure to it, but you don't feel it really. You just feel like you got to go out there and win. And you got to go out there and play your best. And as a basketball player, you want that, though. So I don't think it's pressure. I think it's just what you want.
You don't know who you're playing, Boise State or Colorado State. Is there a preference? Do you feel like there's a team you guys match up better against?
There's not a preference. Both those teams played us real well. And we've had close games with both teams, and they're both really good, both well coached. And offensive, I mean, they're just really good teams. And we just have to be ready for both of them.
Trayshawn, you guys were unbeaten at home and then went on the road, 3 losses on the road, but lots of emotion on the road, that sort of thing. In a way, do you prefer maybe that this thing is a neutral site rather than having to prove it at home or on the road?
I think it doesn't really. I think we don't really care that much. But with it being a neutral site game, you understand that you don't know what team's gonna have the bigger crowd. Like, you just understand that you're there to win a game. And like I said earlier this year, we've had experience with a neutral crowd, and so maybe. I don't know about the other teams in our conference. I don't know how many times they played in neutral site zone, so maybe that gives us a little bit of an advantage there. But, I mean, going on the road is definitely tougher. And, I mean, we're still playing in Las Vegas, so there's a chance that you can play any – like, UNLV they're from Las Vegas. So, I mean, you can say that they kind of have a home feel if some team runs into them. But really, I think a neutral site game it's better for everybody.
How important is it to continue to bring your own energy, something that you guys have continued to progress and do in these neutral site away games, but really now this is the time that you need to bring that energy?
Energy is going to be the biggest thing because you have to have that. Like, you have to find it. And I think our team runs on energy. If you see us defensively, we're trying to talk. We're trying to have active hands. Offensively, we're happy when other guys are scoring. We're happy when other guys are making big plays. We have a lot of guys who can make their own plays. And so energy right now is going to be big. Like Caleb talks about it a lot. Every man is going to matter right now. Every guy on the bench, every guy in the stands, every person, coaching staff. If you're not getting in, every time we bring it into a huddle, every small little clap, all that stuff matter right now. So the energy is going to be the biggest thing, I think, from here on out, because we're only going to have ourselves.
And that second half defensively, that has to carry over, and I imagine it's already carried over to discussions and practice today. Can you talk a little bit about that second half defensively?
I think we were just locked in, and those guys. Those were some really good players, and we understood that. Like San Diego State, I mean, they were just really hard to guard their place, and I think we just wanted to prove to ourselves, like, man, we got to do better, and we got to do better. And Coach Musk just kept giving us energy every time out, like, come on, guys, keep going. Like, this is what we want. This is what we want. We're a defensive and a rebounding team. We have to be a defensive rebounding team this year if we want to be great. And I think we wanted to show that one last time on Lawler, like how great of a defensive team we can be.
Any more questions? Thanks, Trayshawn.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
A sponsor?
Yeah,
Oh, are they?
All right.
Pepsi, right?
Yeah, Pepsi's our official.
I'm a big bubbly fan and stuff.
Questions for Coach Muzzle?
How does that taste? That's the first question.
Bubbly's really good. A lot of different flavors. Hot, big time fan favorite.
Perfect answer.
I mean, Trayshawn was talking a little bit about how important this tournament is. You guys know you're in the NCAA tournament, but why do you guys want to win the Mountain West tournament as well, and why is it important to you guys?
I just think anytime there's a form of competition, you want to go try to win it. And you play the regular season to try to win a conference championship regular season, which was accomplished. And then the second thing is, how do you get the #1 seed? Just to put yourself in the best possible position throughout the course of the regular season to get to this half-week event. So I guess, we finished the non-conference season. We finished our regular season conference. Now you get into this third segment, which is, your own conference tournament, and then the fourth segment, which is, postseason play.
You feel like you guys are kind of built for these type of games, neutral site, win or go home, playing a little more free?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, from here on out has to do with matchups, has to do with, who gets hot on a given night. Anything can happen. That's why college basketball in March is awesome. If this was a 7-game series, I would take the Pac, to win this thing. But it's not a 7-game series. It's one game, and it's a 40-minute game instead of a 48-minute NBA game. And so there's upsets every day. I mean, watching the Missouri Valley the other night, and two teams you don't expect to play in their championship, not just one, but two. And, you know, some teams will get tight. Some teams that have nothing to lose and are low seeds, they're just playing. And so there's a lot of different factors into why teams have success in these things and why other teams don't.
With that said, when you play these teams, whoever you're going to play on Thursday, and with Trey Porter could come in and get 2 quick fouls, and that's happened in the past. It hasn't happened in the past. How much goes into preparing the possible starting lineup for those scenarios?
I mean, we're probably not going to change our starting lineup. I mean, we've basically started this group all year, with the exception of Henson going in after losses and Thurman coming out after a loss. So I don't anticipate us, you know, changing. We've been pretty steady with who we are, with our matchups. We're pretty traditional on how we match up. Once in a while, we'll change a matchup and have a different position, guard a different position, but you know, we're not gonna change much going forward in the Mountain West, other than little tweaks like against San Diego State. You know, we changed our pick and roll coverage, and it dramatically changed the complexion of the game based on how we played defensively. It gave them more open threes, but less dribble drive with the ball handler. So you have to make those decisions as a group on what you want to do.
And then we talked about that with Trayshawn about how good defensively you were in the second half. Is that something that you've talked about as a group, is how efficient you were in that second half?
I think we've been really good defensively all year. I think that's why we're 28-3, is because we play both sides of the ball, not just one side of the ball. I think it's important going into postseason play that you play both sides of the ball and you don't just rely on offense. You know, so for us, we're going to have to rebound, defend, and hopefully make some shots.
Do you think that you guys need to prepare any differently at practice the next few days, just knowing that it could be one or two teams, like could be Colorado State or Boise State, not, hey, we're playing this one team?
Yeah, today's a hard prep day because we don't know. Tomorrow morning will be hard, but then Wednesday you find out who you play, and then you're out of practice time. So we'll go right from the game at 11 o'clock Wednesday to practice, and practice at 2 o'clock. And that'll be really our only time on the floor, because then we play at noon. So not a lot of prep time. Obviously, we know Boise State well. We know Colorado State well. We'll probably sprinkle in some stuff with both those teams today and then tomorrow. And, you know, the two assistants that had those teams as preps are working extremely hard all day yesterday and today. And as soon as we find out who will play, we'll have a scouting report ready for our guys.
Yourself travel-wise? I'm particularly thinking of that 25 days between home games and all that. When you get into a situation where you know you're at one site and that sort of thing, it's kind of an advantage for the Wolfpack when you guys you've done harder things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for all of us, I mean, everybody's going to Vegas. You unpack your bags and you're there until you lose or win the whole thing. So, you know, last year disappointed that we didn't win. You know, but it didn't have an effect when we got to the NCAA tournament. It actually helped us. I thought it refocused us. I thought we got to see some holes that San Diego exposed us with. And then we go into the NCAA tournament and get red hot. And so, you know, these things, you know, the year before, I thought we were really rolling. We won the regular season championship. We won the conference tournament championship, and then we draw Iowa State in Milwaukee, which is basically a home game for the Cyclones, and then that, you know, is going to be a really hard game. So it's a lot of luck involved and everything else. So
obviously, your guys' seed in the tournament will be dictated to some degree with how you do this week. Does seeding matter to you in the NCAA tournament, or is it not that big of a deal?
I mean, I think, Chris, just like the Mountain West tournament, like, you want to get as good a seed as you can, but you know, just certain people in your life put things in perspective. So I get a text from my sister today. Can you believe you guys were in the top 20 from the first poll until the end of this is the last poll today, to my knowledge, other than once the season's completely over. I mean, the stuff that this team's accomplished has been incredible. We want to have the best seed we possibly can. We want to be in the region closest to us. But having said all that, there's so many great programs that on Selection Sunday are going to be stunned, shocked, and in disbelief and heartbroken. We're still not in the tournament till we hear our name called. So when you start, I'm not worried about where we're seated, what region. I just want to see our name put up there. That's really what I want to see, because there are going to be some people absolutely stunned on Sunday, and it happens every year. But I think this year there's going to be a lot of people are going to be shaken when this thing falls out, because there's already been some movement and stuff on things that you wouldn't have thought would happen, and it's even going to get crazier as this week progresses across the country.
That being said, I mean, you guys are more or less in, which is a little bit different than the last 2 years. Do you think that impacts how you guys will play? Obviously, you want to win every game, but like a team like Fresno knows there's only one way to get to the
Yeah, I think even last year. I mean, I think last year we pretty much knew we were in going into the tournament. Probably same case this year. But we want to, there's no doubt Fresno and San Diego State, Utah State, everybody's got their backs against the wall right now, and I hope we have that feeling too. But everybody's kind of got to win. There's no one else in our league, even us. We all got to go win a game, 2 games, 3, whatever you can do. So I just don't trust you can't control what the rest of the country's doing. So you got to go try to win. But obviously last year and this year, I mean, we've felt like we put ourselves in as good a position as we could have up until that game day time.
You look at tournaments over the last 3 years, you guys have done pretty well. Is there any formula to playing well in a tournament setting to you, or is it just kind of not luck, but whether you play well in a certain?
Yeah, I think you want your team playing well at the end of the year. A lot of that has to do with schedule. This was by far our toughest end of the season schedule that we've ever had. But having said that, I think that you want your team single-minded, focused, but you also want them to be loose and free and have fun and kind of embrace the moment and not have the spotlight be too bright. And I thought, senior night, I thought our guys did an incredible job because we were playing for a championship. We were playing for seeding. I told them the ramifications of a 1 seed compared to a 2 seed and the times of the games, and it might not seem like much that 6 o'clock game or that 8 o'clock game, but then when you play at 3 and your legs are tired, you got to think about that. Close your eyes, think about that right now, because that's what the 1 seed does for you. It gives you a little bit more time to prepare, and the seeding is such to benefit that. But I think that our guys understand the magnitude, but they also understand that we got to have fun, and that's why we let. That's why there's so much national media that's around and with us, because we kind of embrace it instead of saying, hey, we're going to close our doors and be focused and nobody's going to get an inside look at who we are. We're not like that. We're like, hey, you want to bring a camera in? Come on. You want to write an feature article about our school and our program? Come on in. And our guys are used to it, and I think it really, really helps. I mean, on senior night, Cody and Caleb or Martin are with they're doing a big thing the day of the game, but and I kind of said to the staff and Jack, and they're like, they're used to it. That's what we do. And so, I think it's helped us because of all this stuff that's gone on the last couple of years of having cameras around, and I don't think it's too big for them. When I played at USD and we got to the tournament, it was too big for us. It really was. It was like just getting there and seeing all the lights and being in the hotel of an NCAA tournament. That was the top of the mountain for us. And I don't think our guys feel like that. I think our guys feel like, all right, this is another step in the process.
How does that attest to the maturity of your group, that they can balance these emotions at this crucial time of year?
I think it was, I think all the teams we've had, even when Cam and Lindsey were sophomores, I thought they handled, we lost the game, but they handled the Mountain West tournament incredible as young players, incredible. It's not just, hey, we got all these fifth-year guys and they handle it, because last year they weren't fifth-year guys, and the year before that, Lindsey and Cam were leading us as sophomores. So I think it's just a matter of trying to put in perspective what's at stake, that the sun's going to show up tomorrow no matter win or lose, and you got to have fun and embrace what you're going through.
When you won't have 11,000 fans there, as a top seed? Is it a little strange? I know you've done it before. You played neutral site games. Is that anything you talk about, being that top seed but not having all of those fans behind you?
No, because we feel like we're going to have a bigger crowd than anybody there. And, you know, my first year here, we had about 6 Wolfpack fans, and then it grew and grew, and we feel like at least in Vegas we'll have as good a home court as we could. And, you know, like there's no doubt last year playing Cincinnati, they had more fans than we did, but we had a pretty good section too. And so they're all kind of neutral site games where I don't think anybody's going to dominate from a crowd perspective. And it's certainly a lot different when you're playing here in front of 10,000 people. You know, my mom's like, what's the difference between what happened at San Diego and what happened in Reno? And I go, Mom, 20,000 people. That's the difference. They had 10,000. We had nobody. They come here. We have 11,000. So 21,000 difference. That's the difference, Mom. And it's a lot of people, 21,000 fans flipping one way or the other.
You guys left the net up after you were cutting it down. Was there any hidden message to that, or did you guys just not cut it down?
I was the last one, and I wanted it left up there for a reason. I did. And I'm going to talk to him about it this week, because normally I cut it down, put it around my neck. So.
But no sharing with us.
Not right now. Pretty perceptive, though.
Peak in March. Do you feel like you're peaking?
I do. I really do. I mean, I feel like I felt like the loss at Utah State, the loss at San Diego State, I thought we played decent. I didn't think we played good. I didn't think we played great. We certainly didn't play great. I didn't think we played horrible. I thought we just played, you know, bad enough to lose in a fairly close games. But we know we can play a lot better, and it gives us hope. We know where the areas we didn't do a good enough job against both those teams, and I thought we ended the season on the right note. Thought we played pretty good at Air Force, so I think we're in a right mental frame. And I think if you're in a bad mental spot, like you don't bounce back like we did after losing at Utah State. That could have been a defining game. That that game we could have clinched and all that other stuff, and we got right back on the plane, got to Air Force early, really had great preparation. I thought our preparation, our shoot-around for San Diego State's the best since I've been here. From a focus standpoint and an energy standpoint, I think the guys are excited right now. I really do. I don't think they're tired. I don't think they think anything other than, hey, we're moving in the right direction.
You mentioned the tournament setting a lot of bit about matchups. Do you feel like you match up better against Boise State or Colorado State?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that, both teams are, they're different. Boise's got 2 big guys. CSU's got a big guy in Nico, and Colorado State really scores the ball. Boise's balanced offensively and defensively. So I think both present problems.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.